Chad Williams to the Liberty Raiders. Chad, first of all, I know it's good to be back. And how have you guys handled the pandemic and what you've been able to do? They kept pushing it back. Seems like we're finally there.
Yeah, I mean, we just had to make a lot of sacrifices where we usually spend time trying to condition. This year we've tried to fit in putting our new offenses and defenses into conditioning to try to do it all at one time.
Have you found any kind of good in this? And you sacrificed Thanksgiving and Christmas practices. You know you're not going to get that kind of length to work with them. Is there any kind of positive that comes out of this?
The only positive to me is just the fact that the boys are getting to play. I mean, I don't see where it benefits anybody the way things have went, but at least they're getting to play. I mean, at the end of the day, we were all worried that they weren't going to get to play, so that's really the only plus.
The last time we were in here was coming off the loss to Wyoming East in the tournament. I know that was a tough one. Did that kind of galvanize your players that are coming back and bring them together and give you motivation heading into this year?
It did. I mean, even the younger kids that we had, they learned from that loss. I mean, I think that was one of those we thought we were going to win coming into it. We had AJ back, and he just wasn't at 100%, but he pushed himself harder this year to get better, and the younger kids did as well.
And speaking of AJ Williams, your nephew, your best player and one of the best players probably in the area, how has he improved his game this offseason?
He has really got in the weight room and tried to get stronger. So you see that in his game. He doesn't rely as heavily on his three-point shot as what he used to. He attacks the rim, and now he's got the attitude he wants to finish at the rim versus a three-pointer on a lot of plays.
Is he doing anything right now that he wasn't able to do last season? I mean, before the injury that cost him about 10 games.
I really think the biggest thing is he's taken more pride in his defense. AJ was not known for his defense, but I think he's gonna show some people that he has a defensive side this year.
Well, he is known for his scoring. Has he added anything to his offensive game at all?
Not
just a whole lot, but
just the attack. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get several dunks at the rim this year versus relying on his three-point shot only.
How tough was it for the team to lose him mid-season? I think he missed 10 games,
Yeah.
which is roughly half the season. How tough was it to go halfway, and did you benefit from that by getting to play people?
At the time, you don't look at it as a benefit, but it woke up an offensive person in Braden Howe. I think Braden's going to be a lot more offensive-minded this year. He had some big games for us with AJ's absence. I think he had 2 or 3 games with 20-plus points. So now he knows he can be a scorer, and so that'll give us 3 kids that we really look to score, high points every game with AJ, Braden Howe, and Adam Drennan.
How much you've raved about Adam Drennan, I think, for 2 seasons now. How close is he to being the player that you wanted him to be? And he's had some good games for you.
Yeah, he's got the effort. He's got a little bit more motor this year. I think COVID probably has hurt him as far as where he wanted to be and where he knew he could be. But I think by mid-season, you'll see a different Adam Drennan as well.
Who are some of the other guys, the so-called supporting cast? A lot of people like to use that word. Supporting cast, guys that are going to help you out and aid those guys that you mentioned.
We've got a lot of younger players this year that I'm excited to see mixed in. Adam McGee is going to play a big role, but it's going to be whoever's got the hot hand that night. We've got Jalen Cook is playing for us this year. Look excited to see what he brings to the table. Trey Tabor is somebody else. Zach Bowman is another player. And then, we're already looking towards our future going for next year. So we're going to try to get a couple of freshmen this year involved. Ethan Williams and Rashawn Sims. We're going to try to get those guys a little bit of playing time.
Or is there any hesitation, you think, to use freshmen now? Because that seems like it used to be you would never, no matter how good a kid was, and you seen him and you know you could play, you would not have played at the varsity level. for old timers, Stuff Lynch is a guy that I would refer to. You know, he played a little bit of varsity, but you just didn't see it back then.
Yeah.
Is there any hesitation now to play freshman that you got?
I think you pick the spots with freshmen. I don't think you hesitate because kids put more time in the gym as far as, you know, with their outside game, the 3-point shot. So, you know, you just don't rely on them to get in there and be physical like you would have years ago, because the game is not as physical as it was years ago. So, you know, you just find spots to get those guys playing time, and it benefits you in the long run, just like it has with AJ. I mean, AJ has started every year that he's been here, so.
Was he like, not necessarily the norm, because he did seem ready to play and be at the varsity level when he came up? I mean, he was able to score at the varsity level, seemed to adapt pretty quickly to the speed, which is a big thing.
AJ, we always, you know, as his uncle, his dad and I have always said, play him against the best competition. So even when he was playing travel ball and things like that, we would always play him up at least an age group, possibly 2 age groups, just to get him ready. And we've kept that mindset with our younger kids. If they're ready for it, we'll put them out there.
You've got a lot of guys that have played some basketball. What are your expectations this season?
This season, you know, I told the guys yesterday, we talked about it, you know, we're going to go into every game like we're going to win. I think everybody's on a level playing field. Nobody got a whole lot of gym time this summer to prepare. I think we got just as good a shot as anybody out there right now.
What do you think of the new setup as far as class? You're still double A, but region and section. Now you're losing some teams that you always competed with. Oak Hill gone, Westside's gone up to 3A. So you're losing some teams like that. What are your thoughts on this new setup?
I don't like how it got broke down. I wish I would have knew a little bit more about, you know, how it was going to get broke down. We probably would have went ahead and jumped up to AAA just to stay with the guys that we're used to playing in the area, because there's a lot of good competition. Now we're going all the way to Chapmanville, Mingo Central to play those guys. You know, I don't personally like trying to go that far off to play teams when you got this, you know, good teams around you. So other than that, you know, not real happy with it.
What would be one thing you'd like to see this team accomplish by the end of the season? Do you have a goal for holding people down point-wise, getting to a certain point score-wise? One thing you want to see this team do?
I told
or
them,
you hope they're doing by playoff time? I
told the boys we're going to hang our hat on defense, and on the offensive end, we're going to pull out all the stops. We're not going to. The first shot we get, it's going up. I think if we get, you know, 70 plus shots a night, I think we come out on the winning end of that, because our defense should translate into easy turnovers and get easy baskets that way. So we're going to let it fly this year and run the court.
All right. Hey, Chad, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks.